A schema is like deeply ingrained mental and even emotional framework. It's formed early in life, and it really shapes how we perceive ourselves, how we perceive others, and even the world around us. It's not a motivation problem. When you're feeling stuck, exhausted, procrastinating, I want us to understand, and really what we'll be talking about today, this is not about a motivation problem. It's not a discipline problem. It's really a nervous system problem that we're going to be learning about today. So learning what's happening in your mind and in your body. So your nervous system doesn't just care about your goals. It cares about safety. So if success, rest, or visibility even once felt dangerous, your brain learned a rule to protect you. And that rule is what we call a schema. A schema is like this, it's a deeply ingrained mental and even emotional framework. It's formed early in life, and it really shapes how we perceive ourselves, how we perceive others, and even the world around us. It helps us to interpret our experiences. So in psychology, schemas act like automatic lenses. And so they influence what we notice, how we're making meaning of what's happening, how we predict outcomes, even how we're reacting when we're stressed. So schemas aren't mindset issues. They're actually neural pathways that automatically activate your amygdala. Many of you know the amygdala is the fear center of the brain. And that's why high achievers procrastinate, or sometimes they overwork or even burn out, not because they're lazy, but because their brain is trying to keep them safe. There's many schemas that we have, but the most common ones I see among high achievers are these three. So we have unrelenting standards, self-sacrifice, and emotional deprivation. So unrelenting standards is a pattern where this person feels like this chronic internal pressure to meet extremely high expectations. So they usually believe that rest or mistakes or even good enough, it's not acceptable. So they're striving for perfection, and they over prepare. They have a hard time slowing down and resting without guilt. They even have a really harsh, what we call an inner critic. So that voice in their head, their self-talk is very punishing when they're feeling left behind or feeling like they haven't done enough. People with the unrelenting standard schema are measuring their self-worth through not only their productivity, but also their achievement. And for those of you that are first generation high achievers like myself, unrelenting standards aren't just personal, they're intergenerational. So there's sometimes an unspoken belief, like I don't get to fail. Too many people sacrificed for me to be here. So excellence even becomes a form of loyalty to our family, to our lineage. And rest can feel irresponsible. And so slowing down can trigger guilt or like a fear of regression. And so success is not just pursued for themselves, right? For self-actualization, but it's proof that the family's sacrifices were worth it. And so the nervous system always stays in this high alert state, always bracing, always pushing. Self-sacrifice is another pattern that I see, and this is where a person chronically prioritizes other people's needs over their own. So self-sacrificers are driven by a belief that, like if they attend to themselves, that's going to cause some type of harm or maybe rejection or guilt or disconnection. So again, first generation individuals often learn early to prioritize the family stability over their own personal needs. So they're very emotionally attuned. So these people are very highly empathetic because they're very always noticing what other people need, because they want to be seen as dependable, as self-sufficient. And this is, again, the schemas are not a personality trait, it's a survival mechanism. As adults, this can evolve, into this chronic over-giving, supporting others, their parents, their siblings, their teams, or communities, while minimizing their own needs. And so saying no might feel like a betrayal. So there's like this quiet erosion of the self that's happening, and even some built up resentment that can happen over time because they're constantly pushing their own needs down or inward. And then we have emotional deprivation. And so this is a pattern where a person expects that their emotional needs, like care, understanding, protection, that people are not actually going to be able to meet my need. So they kind of feel misunderstood all the time, or even invisible. So they might say things like, it's fine, I don't really need anything, or I shouldn't expect too much from people, If I ask, I'll just end up being disappointed. So what's the point? I don't want to be a burden. In relationships, they're the person who's like, I'll just take care of myself. Or this is just how relationships are. They just accept things as they are. I don't want to need anything. What's the point of saying anything? So at its core, even emotional deprivation, it's not about being alone. It's about feeling unseen, unsupported, or even emotionally uncared for in relationships. So here, in a lot of first generation household, love was expressed through protection, through sacrifice, not emotional attunement. So people learn to soothe themselves, intellectualize their emotions, or even stay strong for others. Now, all of these schemas, they're not flaws. They're adaptive strategies. So there's no such thing as a bad or a good schema. They just are. And they're shaped through our environment, through our experiences. So we're not necessarily trying to erase these patterns. We're trying to teach them something new, how to rest without feeling guilty, how to receive without overdoing, and how to stay connected without losing yourself. But all of these schemas can eventually lead to burnout.